want to show you how to tie a Rhyacophila Caddis larva, which is a great fly for faster moving waters. You start off by covering the hook shank with lead wire. Tie in. I'll leave the waste thread and have it as a guide so I can just run my thread over the lead. Rip it off there. To form a nice taper of the body, I want to build up this gap between the hook shank and the lead, and I do that by running my thread up and down, and for each turn of direction I just do 1 or 2 wraps of thread less, which will give me a taper until I'm satisfied, like that. Go back to the eye and do the same, only just in a less long section. For added security, I just brush on some super glue onto the lead so it soaks in. And for the rib of the fly, we're going to use monofilament size 012. A shoe on it, so the thread can grip it firmly. Just run it back towards the tail of the fly. Now for the dubbing. Here I have a mixture between dark olive fly white and ice dub, a Caddis green. And I just mix it like this. And as you can see, I don't really twist the dubbing that much because it helps me, having this flat carpet of dubbing, if you will, helps me make a nice and even taper of the fly. I just stretch it after each turn all the way up to a good 2/3 of the fly. And for the legs of the fly, we just use a dark brown hackle, and I stroke the fibers back and I cut them shorter. And it's easier if you cut from the tip and back, so you work against the direction of the fibers. Like this. Tie it in 90 degrees from the fly. Just tie in whatever waste you may have. Work your way to the front of the fly, and now it's time to tie in the shell back. And I use, this is clear medallion sheeting, and I just colored it in a nice yellow greenish tint. And I cut the strip, which is about 4 millimeters wide. There. Make sure you tie it in so it sits right on top of the fly, and the hook, I mean, and secure the waist. For the thorax, I'm using a pale yellow dubbing. And back towards the eye of the hook again. Take your pliers, or just use your fingers, and wind your hackle in 3 to 4 turns, tying. And to accentuate the head, I put on a tiny amount of just any black dubbing will do. Like so. You can see I'm using a white thread, so I will be coloring it with the black marker to make the head of the fly dark. And I'm securing this with finish, and that is because I want to turn the fly like this. And if I hadn't secured it, there's a chance that the threads will just unwrap. Actually, I don't think I have to turn the fly, but if you would have, there's a risk, so it's worth doing this. So we're going to stretch this piece of shell back directly along the body, and I find the simplest way to do this is to just take your hackle pliers and stretch it over the body. This ribbing here, just use to catch a hold of the piece there and keep a good tension on it so it doesn't slip. And what you do now is you just run your ribbing in even tones over the length of the fly. Stroke down any fibers that may come on top. run the rib through the thoracic area and directly down towards the eye. Keep good tension on your thread and make a few wraps. I like to take a small amount of super glue on the thread to secure the ribbing even more, and I just fold the waist back over the head and run a few turns across like this. Secure with whip finish. Cut away the waist. And trim the tag at the back so it sticks out just a tiny bit like that. So it imitates a tail for the nymph. What I like to do also is to brush the body ever so gently to make it more vibrant. And there you have it, the Rhyacophila larva. Like I said, it's a great fly for faster moving waters.